So that's why I'll learn.
Well, in this course and in this book, you will learn how to talk to the people who are naysayers, doubters, have a negative association. And you know as well as I do, they never did their research and they have no strong argument to stand on. Well, you have personal experience and you have an army of 30 plus million pee drinkers on planet Earth to back you if you need some more confidence.
That's good to know.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. And this is the most perfect time on our planet when everybody's questioning everything.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I do mean everything, including
Amen.
religion, including science and education, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
So for people who have said, I'm done with Big Pharma, I'm done with the medical industry, you want me to drink my pee? I'm in. And so it's a lot easier to convert people now than ever. It worked for Kyle.
That's right.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Jill.
Hello.
Hi, Jill.
Yeah.
Hi, Kathleen, Kyle.
Nice to meet you. I
Nice
like
to
your
meet you
background.
guys as
It's
well.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I just clicked it on right before I logged in.
It's
My
very
other-
nice.
God, I love
love
Jill
it.
World. It is a beautiful place.
Right?
That's great.
Yeah, I wish I was there.
So,
Really?
Jill, we're holding out for Jeffrey to make it. He's attempting to get here. If not, we can always have him on Kyle's speakerphone or something, so he can listen in.
He's asking what the code is for the
Oh,
class. So
same as always, 1212.
yeah.
I like to keep it synchronized.
Asking. Okay.
Actually, it was Kyle that told me about you, Brother Sage. I didn't
Yes.
know about you. That was a year ago, right? Or yeah. So interesting.
And
And I
Kyle,
told him about this.
did a little birdie tell you, Kyle, that you need to take a look at this, and I popped in your life, or how'd that work out?
So it started off with like some friends of mine. They introduced me. They told me about it, and then one of the communities.
I told you about it too.
Yeah, you did, and also one of the communities of the Gujarati Hindu religious community, the BAPS. They were selling this book, the auto urine therapy book. So I started reading it, and then this is how I started my journey, and I found it very fascinating. And then I told my mother, and then I got connected with Brother Sage, and yeah, and then the journey went from there. And
But I
my
told you
mom
about this 5 years ago too.
You also knew about it too back then.
Because remember you brought your son over 3 years ago, and you said that we opened one of my cupboards. You said, "Oh, it smells like urine." I said, "That's my age urine."
Yes.
Remember you said, "Oh, Mom, it smells really strong."
You discovered Mom's secret water closet. Good for you.
I had 4 mason jars up there with coffee, those things with elastic band around it.
Yes.
Well, that's one of the things we're going to discuss in this course is the different ways people like to put lids or covers on top of their jars when they store it. So let's start off. We're going to assume Jeffrey will make it, but we're going to start anyway. It's approximately 3:05-ish. What we're going to do is around 4. We're here to 5:30. So around 4 o'clock, 4:15, we'll take a 5-minute break. Jeffrey made it. Oh, we got a full class.
Oh.
Hi, Jeffrey. Welcome. I'm glad you made it to class.
Welcome, Jeffrey.
Welcome.
Glad you made it.
Hello.
Hi, Jeffrey. So we're going to be studying the ins and outs, the what about, the why nots, about urine therapy, which you'll hear me say a lot. I'll interchange the words with Oren or Shivambhu. You guys are familiar with those words? Beautiful. So
Oh, there's the sound.
there it is. Jeffrey, say hi to everybody.
Hi, your
Jeff.
lip
Hello,
moving.
Jeffrey.
Hello,
Hey.
everyone.
Nice glasses. I like them.
They're-
One thing you'll be able to do on this on our classes is to be able to tell pee jokes because you want to pee right at home with each other. And so, Jeffrey, you're in good company with everybody here. So
Well, yeah, it could get fun.
it could get wet and wild. Okay, but we're not going to go on the sexual side. That's the guys
No.
with the golden fountain, the golden pleasure. That we're not going there.
Well, yeah, that brings a couple ideas to mind.
I'm sure it does. That's a whole nother class. That'll be the tantra urine class, but we're not.
Right.
All right, let's kick this off correctly. Get your golden water. Get your nectar of immortality.
Where's everybody else's picture on the? Okay, there you go.
It's only there if they turn off their camera.
If they turn on?
If they turn off the camera, it holds a avatar of you.
Oh, okay.
Set that up. So I'm going to
Yeah.
read the prayer from this book, the Healing Water from Within book, and it's a sacred water prayer from Native Americans. And the way we're going to do this prayer is that we'll do it like a. You guys have been to kirtan? You know what mantras are?
Yes.
Okay, at the kirtan they do a call and response. The call
Yes.
is the line. Okay, we're going to do it the same way here, and then we'll go cheers and you drink your beautiful water. Okay, here we go. I take this water of life.
I take this
this
water.
water of life.
I declare it the water of light.
I
I
declare it.
declare it the water of light.
As I bring this water within this body,
As I bring
As I bring this water within this body,
it allows me to glow.
it allows.
it allows me to glow.
I take this water of light.
I take
I
this
take
water.
this water of light.
You guys are good. I declare it the water of God.
I
I
declare.
declare it the water of God.
I am the master of all I do and all that I am.
I am the
I am
master.
the master of all that I do
And all
and
that
all that
I
I
am.
am.
So be it.
So be it.
Good year, 6 hours ago. So
Yeah.
I'd like everybody to just take about 2 minutes and tell us how you got on the journey. What have you noticed? And have you decided to tell anybody? Let's start with Kyle.
Where I started this journey, so I'm a healthcare worker, and I started this journey a couple years ago when I found out from the BAPS community about the UT, and also I bought a book and I started reading about it and the health benefits, and also then I connected with Brother Sage, and I learned some more as well from reading his books. So from there, I started this healing journey, and I've been feeling really good and very energetic. So I I look forward to learning more and helping many others on their healing journey.
Thank you. Jeffrey, are you getting settled in there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna plug in my. I don't know if this microphone is gonna be better than the speaker phone. Maybe you can let me know.
Yeah, okay.
Is that coming through any better?
Yeah, just fine. Kyle, was
Okay.
there something else you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, also like it's been helping me like when I'm doing my like mindfulness and meditations. I've also noticed that, being, on this therapy also helps to like ease the mind and calm down more too. So it's very helpful. It helps me with that too as a relaxant, relaxation.
Good benefits, huh?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. Jill,
Okay,
tell us how you got on this journey. What have you noticed about it, and have you decided to share it with anybody?
okay. So I first heard about it in a Lori Ladd forum. I'm in her Patreon community and heard her talking with, she had a guest on, Rodney LaBoy Jr. And she'd been sharing about it prior to having the guest. And I was just really curious. I'd never heard of it before. Something in me clicked. and I wanted to, learn more. And yeah, and so I I tried it, and it wasn't that hard for me. I was a alcoholic for years and drank a lot of really bad alcohol. So, I and I'm also kind of a psycho. I like to try new things. I want to say a psychonaut or a biohacker or something. It just fascinated me. I was having some ongoing digestive problems that were not being touched by anything. I felt like I might need to run back into the medical system, and I did not want to do that. I have children with disabilities, and they are immersed in the system to a degree, which is really gut wrenching. But that's part of the reason I got into it too, to explore, just another possibility, another tool. That might be helpful for them down the road, so, and having great benefits myself, it's been really interesting. I feel like I'm really a beginner. I hear some of you talking, and I'm only like a little over 2 months in, but already real changes, just in feeling clearer, feeling more, I don't even know how to describe it, more engaged, self-love, more. That's the major thing I would say. Besides, the health stuff is starting to really improve the digestion. I'd say I still am at the beginning. So I just am keeping at it. And I've told people, I've told a friend of mine who is in the holistic health field, and she jumped on it. We'll see if she continues. I told my partner, he was like, yep, that's great. You do you. And he told me to take my jars and put them out somewhere out of the office area.
The main smell area.
Yeah. So that's been, I haven't told my mother or my kids. I told one of them, and she wouldn't talk to me for a few weeks. So, mixed reviews.
Okay, well, we're going to get to that point when you realize that your concerns about criticism, and just for everybody, if you have something that could possibly save someone's life, I mean, you've had something in your hands your whole life, but nothing like this before. And it's up to us to put aside our concerns about criticism and judgment or rejection from people and just tell them anyway. Life's kind of short, so the sooner the better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it for me. I'm really looking forward to this. I met Brother Sage, went on a call, and it was great. Really just love the energy and just what I'm learning so far. So
Great. Glad to have you on not only this
thanks.
class, but on this journey. Jeffrey, are you there?
Yes.
All right,
Can you hear me?
tell us how you got going on the urine therapy journey, what experiences you've had, and have you shared this with anybody?
Well, Kathleen has shared some things about it with me because we have ongoing conversation about health and health issues. She's been very influential in inspiring some discipline in my care for myself, and shared this and connected me with you very recently, and it inspired me to say, okay, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start drinking in the morning, um, and and the other things that are suggested. I've dipped into the book, made a little dent in it, but haven't gotten too far with it. I've had other experiences with cleansing and healthcare, some very profound cleansing experiences, even just with a grape juice, fresh grape juice, juicing, and I believe that I probably healed myself of a lot of cancer, at least on a couple occasions, and the possibilities of, or at least nipping it in the bud, whether it's in somewhere in my digestive system or my lungs. I was a smoker for many years. I I won't say I'm a wild a wild lifer, but I'm
No,
not
you
very
can tell us. You can admit it. You had a
I'm
good.
not very tame either.
You could tell he had a good time, right, in his life.
I'm 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 not very I'm not very tame either.
You're a party animal. Party
I-
animal.
Yeah, I can't come by it honestly. It runs in my family. And
Jeffrey, I'm glad to have you on the class. We're going to move on here. Kathleen, tell us how you got going on this path, your experiences, and have you been sharing this?
Okay, I heard about it the very first time in 2008 from a friend and spiritual leader. Her name is Mila. Kyle knows her, and so does Jeffrey. She said you should drink your urine; it's very good for you. And she learned that from Shiva Balayogi from India, a master. So it took me till 10 years to really, I was thinking about it all the time. Should I do it? Should I do it? 2018, 10 years later, I took my first drink. I was working night shifts. I had a lot of health issues. And I started there. That's my journey. It's just progressed to learning about you and reading other books that I have at home. I don't have them here. I don't know the names, but I did research a lot since 2018. Have I told anybody? A few clients that are very sick, that I give colon hydrotherapy to. And of course, my son and Jeffrey and a couple friends that, aren't, well, anyway, not everybody's open to it, but maybe I'm approaching it wrong. Maybe I should be introducing it differently. So I'll learn here, hopefully, which is great.
Yeah, we're going to go back and forth with. Thank you for introducing yourself, by the way, Kathleen, and getting us caught up with you. You're going to learn how to answer their questions. You're going to learn that they have no strong argument because they don't do research. You will learn how to present it in a way that it will pique their interest. I mean, if you can just simply start by saying, "Hey, listen, can you keep an open mind?"
Can I just say something else quickly? I have learned that this Oran therapy works not only physically, but emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. It's changed me as a person. I have more confidence. The fear is gone. I feel fearless. I feel calm. I have love and compassion flowing out of me. That's all I want to say. It's the Oran that has done this. Shivambhu.
Well, by the vibration of Shivambhu. By the way, you notice on the book, the manual book, throughout the book, the spelling is Shivambhu. That's the traditional Sanskrit spelling, and it literally translates to two different things. It either means the water of Shiva. This is why you feel the Shakti and the vibration of the water, or it means the blood of the Lord, in this case, blood plasma. So it's interesting how many people in the water family are reinterpreting the terminology in the Bible of Christ saying, "This is my blood, drink of me." So, from my understanding, he was a urine drinker. He told his disciples, "Drink of yourself," like Shiva said to Parvati, "and you will live." And maybe it got rewritten in 1611 when King James put his spin on it. Who knows? Okay, so
well, it's tough to survive in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights without knowing that the trick of drinking your
exactly, and I believe that's the very same technique that Gandhi used when he was in prison for a week or two when they were trying to get their power back from the British.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of things out there that we're just now getting a new understanding that they may not have taught us. There's a lot of things they didn't teach us. All right, any questions for me before we start into this?
I
Good.
have one question.
Yeah, Kyle.
Um, somebody wrote to me on Messenger and they said, "Can I ask you a question?" So they said something about, "Can you cure a polyp?" And so instead of saying, so I said, "Have you tried UT?"
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if you've ever been asked this question before. I think
What's the actual
I think
condition?
Kathleen, yeah, I think
What's the condition?
polyp.
A polyp in the rectum,
Yeah,
in the
polyp.
rectum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Enemas, urine enemas will do that.
urine enemas will do that. A diet change will do that. Uh, Foot baths will do that. Belly button soaks, but it doesn't matter where it is in the body. It doesn't matter what name the doctors call it. We're dealing with trillions of cells that need to be cleaned and regenerated. So whether it's in the rectum or whether it's in the breast or whether it's in your spine, it's going to be the same thing. Now, people will ask all the time, is there such thing? Is there something you can't cure? Will urine therapy work for everybody? Well, the answer is yes and no. You wouldn't expect me to say that. But see, I look at what's underneath the human condition and how we think. If a person does urine therapy and they don't change their diet, they're still doing unhealthy food choices. They're still on drugs, recreational drugs, medical drugs, alcohol. They have bad lifestyle choices, and they're doing urine therapy. It'll be like a band-aid. There'll be incremental changes, but it will not be profound. If people have unconscious death wishes, they're self-destructive, they're miserable, they may or may not get help with Shivambhu, with urine therapy. But the people who are committed, proactive, they're willing to do the work and make the changes, oh yeah, they'll get the healing. So a lot has to do with how strong is your will and your motivation. Did that answer your question, Kyle?
Yes, thank you. So also their like state of mind, like their willingness to take health into their own hands and say, yes, I want to heal as well. So
Right. Now, when I do consultations with my clients, uh, I prefer to do it in a much more faster approach than chiropractors and people say you've got to commit to 10, 20, 30 sessions. I know the chiropractors are notorious for that. So I ask my clients, do you want to heal everything in this session?
yeah.
Because all that's required, according to the Course in Miracles, is a shift of perception. When you can get their mind back to wholeness and mastery and balance again, it's amazing how that time frame changes. Now, some people, they'll get what urine therapy is about from the first drink. They'll drink it, their brain clears up, their energy shows up, their aches and pains start to go away. They get it. Some people it takes a little bit longer because they're not noticing the subtle things. And what's very exciting is to see how many people didn't need to get an explanation or science behind it or any kind of research because they felt the call, like you guys. So let's go back in time. A little bit about the history of Shivambhu, how it got here. What happened just now? By the way, we have a chat feed. If anybody wants to type anything in the chat feed, that's quite capable of doing that. Before I forget, let me show you all the books. Not everybody saw my book collection. You got the latest books, of course. This one in the manual. This was my Bible. The Golden Fountain, Cohen Vanderkroon, 1994. Now, if you go to Dr. Group's website, he puts many of these PDF files on his site for free. So his is like urotherapyresearch.org, something like that. You'll have to double check it. The Manav Mantra from 1975 from Mr. Patel. Is this backwards?
No.
Yes.
Okay. That's just the symbol of the publisher. I don't know if that matters, but there's the book. I've used some of this material in my books. Omad Orin Looping from David Phillips. He's not a doctor. Those are his first words, initials of his name. So this is about urine, looping with Orin, and 1 meal a day. And it works like a charm if you can get your mind to that. Secrets of Youthing is my latest book. There's a whole chapter. This was originally written in 1994 by Leonard Orr, one of my spiritual teachers and mentors, and I revised it and brought it back. It was an occult, a metaphysical classic. I almost said a cult, and that word's getting a bad rap these days. Anyway, so he's got a whole chapter on the Damar Tantra, his journey with urine therapy, and every verse of the Damar Tantra is in there. Urotherapy by Martin Laura. He's back in the East Coast somewhere. He doesn't want people to know where he's located. There's his book. The Hindu Yogic Water Cure. And that's by that dude. Good luck pronouncing it. And last but not least, now Harry Matadine's got 3 books on aged urine therapy. If you haven't looked up Harry yet, he's out in UK. Aged urine, he wrote 3 books on the subject. His books are on Amazon. And this is The Sudden Cures They Don't Want You to Know About by Doc Mike Whitford. You can't buy this anywhere except from Doc Mike. The first category you can see is urine therapy. But he's old school. He would go to the printer and do a spiral, do-it-yourself book. So you won't find his material on Amazon, though I'm pushing him to do that. Okay? So I'm going to go into some of the history of urine therapy. Now, 5,000 years ago, according to legend, Shivambhu was revealed to Parvati. Now, Parvati was the consort or the partner of Shiva. You guys know that?
No.
Okay. These dudes right here, Shiva and Parvati, his consort. Now, by the way, she's carrying her urine pot down there, but the publisher somehow cut her hand off. But she's got her pot, kind of like the Krishnas. They have their prayer beads in a pouch. That was her thing. So one day, Parvati says, Shiva, how come you don't age? How come you're healthy and strong and, may I add, sexy? What is your secret? He says, drink of yourself and live. So he laid out a whole 9-year program, not only how to heal everything in the human body and the human condition, it ultimately leads to physical immortality. So that started 5,000 years ago. Now we bring it up to date to the 1400s. Of course, I lost 1,400 years. Sorry about that. More than that. The Aztecs were using it to heal the wounds. In the 1500s, Magellan took a crew across the world on a world cruise, and he instructed them to drink their pee in order to stay alive. 1536, Egyptian medical texts had over 50 formulas and remedies. Most of them included the use of urine. 1611, there were multiple Bible references in the King James Version that you might have seen in some of my books. Drink of yourself, drink your water, the water of your living cistern. I don't know, have all the quotes in my brain. He that believeth in me and drinketh my water, John 7:38. I'm sure you'll be able to find plenty of verses if you look it up. 1695, UT reference in this book called the Solomon's English Physician book. In 1806, it was Lewis and Clark discovered Native American women bathing in their water, in their urine. 1890s, there was a book called 1,000 Notable Things, and it called urine, a universal and excellent remedy for a multitude of health challenges. In the 1930s, let's go back. I just got this new information today. It was 1930. You're going to love this. In 1913, the Rockefeller Foundation was established, and part of its mission or principle was to be in control of world health matters, World Health Organizations, before the WHO and before this. So he set in place all this stuff, which also includes debunking urine therapy. All natural cures were written off the books and taken out of schools and taken out of all kinds of public places. So this is where it twisted in the early 1900s. 1930, Professor Jean Rostad of France wrote about adrenal and sex gland hormones present in urine. 1944, the Water of Life book by John Armstrong became an important text on the subject, and his book was rewritten or republished in 1971. 1963, the Manav Mucha book, which I showed you just a while ago. In 1971, NASA put out a article about the composition of urine, which is great because that was our first chance to see what are these amazing compound substrates and nutrients that are in this water. There's a lot more floating around. And 1971, The Water of Life book by John Armstrong was reproduced. 1999, I'll get back to this in just a minute. In 1999 was the first World Urine Therapy Conference in which they had 50 representatives from 50 countries, and that took place in India. And then fast forward to 2013, Andrew Norton Weber organized the urine therapy conference in Sacramento in the United States. And then the last conferences that I know about, I attended one in 2018 in Las Vegas called the Water of Life Symposium. And it was a rare opportunity to meet face to face 80 pee drinkers in a conference room in Las Vegas. And what I noticed is everybody immediately recognized and loved each other. Then he had Anthony A.K. King. He put two more together before COVID hit, and that's the last of those. Any questions? Now, this is all leading up to 2010, 2015, when urine therapy social media groups hit the scene. And I discovered on the internet there was more talk and more content being shared back and forth that I discovered that this was a movement worth putting my time in. And Spirit said, you got to write a book. So a book dropped in. My whole life turned around. It went viral. I was on 46 radio shows and 3 television shows, and that hasn't slowed down since. And 2 more books later, this is my career. And in Boulder, we put together a nonprofit organization called Shivambhu, which has since been creating an infrastructure for the family to connect and meet each other and to have educational material. Yay? All right, let's go to page. You got your book out?
Yes.
Let's go into the book a little bit. A quick overview. We're going to talk about the history, which we've done, what's in Orin, what I like to call the secret sauce. Why does it work? What are the benefits? Is there research behind it? Oh, let's do the Shivambhu wisdom chart here in just a second. What research or clinical studies do we have to show if people ask for that? Do you have testimonials? What is the significance of the body-mind, a holistic approach to wellness? How does diet affect the color, the smell, the viscosity, and the taste of your Orin? What are baby steps? How to get newbies started and to take baby steps? The protocols, will take up about 2 or 3 classes going over the protocols. How to discuss and overcome objections with people about the subject. We're going to take a look at the future of this movement. And at the very end of this class, we're going to all come to a close and everybody gets a certificate for graduating. Which, if you want to hang it up on your wall, your mom will be proud of you. I'd love to see your certificate there, Kathleen, at the clinic when you graduate.
Yeah, okay, you got it. It'll be here, right behind me, right over there.
Perfect, perfect. So we're going to go over the Shivambhu wisdoms. Did y'all get that in the email?
Yeah.
Okay, number 1. Shivambhu is an intuitive medicine. Now, I want you to take that to heart because people are going to ask you, how often should I take it? How much should I take? When should I do this? What about this conditions? What if I'm doing drugs? What if I'm still eating meat? What about? And your job is to not use your intuition, but to remind them it's an intuitive medicine, and you'll get the same wisdom directing you, called your intuition, as we do. So your intuition is going to tell you everything you need to know about this modality of self-healing, including when to do enemas, when to fast. Fasting, by the way, is simply a vacation, a mental vacation from food. And one of the things I hope you will learn in this course is how to liberate people from food slavery. That is a fun one. She's breathing already. Okay, so do you understand what is meant by Shivambhu is an intuitive medicine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, as part of this work with Shivambhu, you'll realize that more and more teachers are teaching this self-health care modality in a way that people drop all dogma, rules, and must-to obligation stuff that they've inherited from their medical model and from every approach they've ever used toward health, including supplements. Okay, so there's no dogma, there's no rules, there's no way it has to be done. If you do not have glass or brass or copper or anything to store your urine in, you can use plastic. It's not that serious because urine is more powerful than plastic. I know some people that get in a pinch and going, well, all I got is a plastic jug. I said, shut up and put it in there. It'll be just fine. Okay? The other thing is you're going to learn to separate uh, tradition and superstition from what's really going on with this water. As I've been digging in this water and studying it for, oh God, I started in 1994, 28 years,
Wow.
you hear a lot of stuff in this community that just doesn't add up. Because when you know that every drop is precious, every drop is sterile, none of it can be contaminated or contaminate everybody. Now let's go back 5,000 years and look at that verse in the Dhamma Tantra, and you still hear people say, "I should drink the midstream. The first part I'm going to pour out." Have you heard this? And then you take the
Yeah, I've heard
midstream,
that.
and
Yeah.
then you get rid of the end of it. Well, the next verse in the Dhamma Tantra tells you why it's traditionally set up that way. It's superstition, because they associate it with a snake, and the snake will bite you, or it'll hit you, it'll kill you. So, fast forward to 2022, we know everything in urine is sterile, right? And nothing can grow in it. It'll alchemize everything. So that you can see where some of these teachings are based on tradition and superstition. And using your intuition, you'll be able to see through a lot of things that just don't add up.
Yeah, I see that in groups a lot with the midstream and
Yeah. And I've been doing my best to get everybody to sort out, what they were led to believe and, figure it out on themselves. Like the word aged and aging, I'm going to talk about this again when we get in the protocols. I changed the word to evolving. Monica Shute calls it maturing, or what was the other word she was using? Anyway, the reason I did that because people form associations with words, and if you hear the word, you're talking to a new person, and you say aged urine, they're going to think, oh, it's not healthy, it's getting older, it's going to lose its power, it's going to get sick and die. As an old man or an old woman, that association with. So I use the word aging because what it really is an evolutionary or a constantly evolving water. Once it leaves the bladder and it's in your container, more stem cells are showing up, more antibodies, more nutrients. It is evolving water. Got that? All right, number two, it's a universal panacea. Shivambhu works regardless of your mind talk or your considerations about it. It will work whether you use a man's, a woman's, a child, an adult's, a person from a different race, a person who's old, a person who's young, a person who's not healthy, a person who's healthy. You can drink the animal's urine, they can drink your urine. It's a universal panacea. Does that make any sense? I've drank my client's urine, they've drank mine. Doc Mike is a unique character. I got to spend a couple of weeks with him. He's had over 30 of his clients trade urine with him. And he says because he's had urine of 30 of his clients, he has the immunity of 30 immune systems. The guy's going around the country and down to South America doing healings and treatments. He's 77. He's stronger than ever. So it's a universal panacea. Number 3. That was number 3. Number 4. Shivambhu is an evolutionary water. I already said that one. Practicing saturation dosing. Have you heard that term yet? Before you read the book?
Just
Yeah, just.
Okay. Saturation dosing steps up the healing better than just drinking the Orin. Because the people who just drink the Orin, um, I mean, they'll get improvement, but not as quickly as you start adding the topical protocols, the enemas, the massages, the foot baths, the navel soaks, the eye rinses, the ear rinses, the snorting and drinking up the nose, etc., etc. So if you're not already doing saturation dosing, see if you can start adding more into your lifestyle. Of course, if you have an opportunity to go to a hot springs, I don't know if you heard the story, but I went to the hot springs about a month and a half ago, and I took my entire supply in an ice chest that go back to 3 years old. And while I was in the hotel room, unbeknownst to the staff, I was doing full-out urine baths, foot soaks, enemas, body massages, sleeping in the urine on my body while I was, and it was a good time. And if that's your urine and you walk into that room, it smells like home. It just feels so normal. My heart went out to whoever cleaned up the room, though, but I had a great time. Meanwhile, when you're doing protocols, for example, when you go to take a bath, do you guys take baths or you shower people?
Both.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, and I'm getting somebody who uses a very powerful microscope to prove this, because I say a lot of things on the internet, and sometimes people say, "Did you make that shit up, Sage? Is this real?" I said it alchemizes everything, including if you put it in your bath water, the chemicals that the city puts in the municipal water will be neutralized and sterilized. They said, "I totally get it. Do you have proof?" So we got a woman in Canada, Fiona Gardner. No, she's in California. She's got one of those like 100 magnification microscopes, and she's going to look at under high magnification and see if it's made an effect on the water. So while you're filling up the bathtub, either bring some with you in your jar or collect some while you're standing there and knock out 6 or 7 protocols in the eye, up the nose, in the ears, all over the place. Belly button, your genitals, everything. And that way you've already prepared that to absorb into your skin before you lay down in the water. It also gets you off the hook for not doing your protocols that day. Because I've hooked up cameras in all your houses. I'll know if you guys are not doing this. In a case of Kyle, I have a drone over your house right now. Just kidding, of course. Thank you. All right. Any questions about saturation dosing?
You were talking about soaking and using it prior to a bath. It's like keeping 30 gallons of urine around. Do you mean a full bath or bathing with some of the urine in the bath, or on what concentration?
Well, it's not in this particular case. It's not based on a full out fill up your tub with Orin, because that would take somewhere around 8 to 10 gallons. Depends on how deeply you want to submerge into it. I'm talking about while the bathtub is filling up. Bring enough in a container while you're standing in the bath water, and
Okay.
apply it topically all over yourself before you
Okay.
lay down. So what you have is diluted urine bath.
Right. Okay.
Unless you've been storing a bunch up, Jeffrey, and you want to come out publicly and admit it now.
I keep there's sometimes a couple jars in my car because there's nowhere to pee on the road.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to anyway. One thing that you'll discover, and hopefully this won't happen to you, but I live in Colorado, and the winters can get cold here sometimes. Well, I had about 6 or 7 quart-sized jars filled with my Orin in the garage. I went in there one day to transfer it and all the jars were broken because they froze, and I filled them to capacity, so they didn't have room to expand.
Oh,
So if you're
Oh,
gonna leave
boy.
them, if you're gonna leave them in your car, uh, leave a little gap for air,
yeah.
or in your any places where it'd be affected by the cold.
Does it affect if it freezes? Does it affect the quality?
It didn't seem to affect it because when I had it thawed out in the car, I still drank it, and it was just fine. But there is some question going around in the community right now. Some people are talking about boiling their urine because they somehow read that it will open up the pores better and it'll absorb better into the skin, into the bloodstream. Well, they asked me to weigh in on that, and I said, well, I want to keep an open mind. I've been in the background of raw foods since the 70s, so I come from the mindset that like plants, the enzymes will be killed and the life force will be diminished. So if you do that with urine,
Oh
it's the
yes.
same with living foods. So that's the camp I'm on. And if you feel like you're guided to do that, go for it.
It
You're
kills the
full.
enzymes, doesn't it?
Well, it's the very same thing as what happens with living foods. You have enzymes, you have amino acids, you have carbohydrates, you have thousands of compounds.
Same thing with the raw milk.
The
It,
same with
it
the raw
kills the
milk.
enzymes when you heat it up. Yeah.
It also explodes the molecules in the milk, so the molecular structure is shot. So that's my take on boiling, if anybody want to know that. There are no incurables. The word incurable, if you hyphenate the word, means incurable. Curable. Like the word impossible really means I am possible. So the only thing you cannot cure is what you say you cannot cure. That's how powerful our mind is. And what's even more powerful than Shivambhu, I wrote an article that got published in 2006. The title of the article was Your Sacred Raw Foods, and I'll add Shivambhu, Your Sacred Raw Foods, Your Spiritual Path, and even Shivambhu won't save you from your mind. If you've got self-destructive things going on in your unconscious and you hate life and you're miserable, chances are you're going to unconsciously commit suicide by your actions in your life, and you'll have a much shorter life. So if you have a powerful will to live and you have a strong life force, Shivambhu is going to work like a charm. Everything will. All right. Any questions? All right. Let's go to page. Let's see. Yeah, let's start there. Page 198. 3:30, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4:15. We got about half an hour before we do a break. Page 15. Who would like to volunteer to read? You're going to read page 15.
Page 198.
Oh, excuse me, 198. Thank you for getting me. Whew, I got turned around. All right, so you want to read page 198 to page 200. Who's going to read, or shall I?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Okay, Shivambhu is an intuitive water or medicine. Once you choose this lifestyle or it chooses you, and you absolutely know what UT is doing for you, you will never quit the practice or look for something better. After gaining enough experience practicing AUT and are sure that you are ready, students and clients will seek you out. How well do you practice your intuition? According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. It is the power or faculty of attaining direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and inference. Do you feel confident with your intuitive abilities? Intuition is a tool. It is only as good as the person who uses it. Start today right where you are and practice being more mindful of using intuition. Mastering the use of intuition, along with mastering conscious breathing, is not only pivotal to your well-being and your clients, but also to everyone you know and will cross paths during your life. Breathe. Know that your intuition instantly giving you quick and ready insight is always at your service to guide and keep the session on course, assist in making good choices and giving advice, suggesting lifestyle changes, and co-creating the best sessions with every client. Remember, you are an instrument, bridge, or guide for your client to do his or her own work with your assistance and cooperation. Your work is not to save, protect, improve, or change anyone, especially clients. The sooner a client can throw away their psychological or mental crutches, concerns, doubts, and fears, and take responsibility for their self-health care, the faster they will heal and grow. They always heal themselves. Most clients come to you out of desperation, have given up hope and faith in the medical system, and are looking to you and UT as their last chance to save their life, reclaim their health, and have any quality of life. You may, at times, when being approached by new clients, feel like a first responder answering to emergency calls, which can tend to scare you. After facilitating more and more sessions, this becomes second nature to you. You got this? You got this. Now would be a good time to set this book down, take several deep connected breaths, get recentered and calm. Go pee if you must. Perhaps start shaking the body, take a shower, dancing, do yoga, singing, yelling, chanting, skipping, running, or walking. These are powerful tools to use either during a session or anytime during the day when you feel stuck, anxious, concerned, confused, and uncreative, or in no movement. Breathe, exhale, repeat. Keep in mind that on this path, we give a lot of thanks to the golden blood plasma water for constantly cleaning, purifying, and washing away impurities in body, mind, while leaving us feeling fresh, clear, calm, balanced, and sane.
Thank you for reading that. Something I'd add to where that paragraph that ends up with, your work is not to save, protect, improve, or change anyone, especially your clients. The reminder for today is your work is your work, and their work is their work, and you're not here to do their work, other than colonics.
Right.
And massages and reflexology and rolfing and Reiki. Yes, but their work is still their work. You're facilitating. And that's a good thing to remember for all our friends who have ego fits and call themselves a healer. I fell into that trap years ago when you realize they're doing their healing, you're facilitating. So be careful.
Well, keeping a very strong psychic barrier is important if you're a practitioner working with other people. I know a lot of healers who got tremendously sick working with sick people, absorbing their bad energy and their frequencies, and happens just at a time when maybe they're tired and they're pushing themselves to take an appointment. There's an exercise that needs to be followed every time you enter into a moment of contact and therapy with anyone.
Yep, I agree. My mentor called it emotional energy pollution. And this was Leonard Orr. And he noticed that when he was with his clients a lot, or if he was publicly teaching a lot, his body would gain 5 to 10 pounds and he would be quote unquote sick. And so he would go sit overnight by a fire and spend time in nature and do his breath work. And in 3 days, his normal weight returned and he was healthy again. He says the emotional pollution from people gets transferred.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, thank you. Let's go to page 60. Take a little drink or two. Let me know when you want to look at my collection of urine therapy devices so I won't forget to show you in this class. You want to see it now or do you want to wait till we read some more?
I'll see it now.
Sure.
Yes.
You guys are so in the moment. I love you.
Mm.
By the way, time for a shameless promotion, a commercial. This slogan, I have the copyright on the slogan. So if anybody wants to make a novelty item, a bumper sticker, a T-shirt, or anything, you have my blessings. Take it and run with it.
Thank
The other thing I got a copyright on, and thank you Nike for the inspiration.
Just kidding. I like that.
Did you really get a copyright on that?
Yep, I can teach you how to self-copyright stuff. So what you want to do, Kyle, if you're up for it, is put this on the front of the shirt and put this on the back of the shirt, or flip it back and forth, however you want to do it. As you can tell, your creativity and your genius machine finally comes online when you do enough urine therapy and you start including nose drinking.
Wow.
It's amazing. Okay, so let's start off with the eye cup. You guys have an eye cup?
I need
Yeah,
one.
I do.
Not yet.
You got one of those. Yeah.
Get it on.
I
Go
have
ahead.
two of them, so you do it at the same time.
Ooh, she can double eye cup. Wow.
I have the two, and that's no wonderful.
I
It
bet you.
saves time in the morning, saves time.
Does it make you feel like you're like scuba diving and you're really deep underwater?
It gets rid of the eye flukes.
Oh yeah, and
Oh.
also
No
it's
more
good.
eye flukes.
Oh, good deal. It's also good for floaters, cataracts,
Floaters, yeah.
night vision, all kinds of stuff. Now, what came right after that? Now, in the original book, I only had 11 protocols, but over the 3 years following that, all these other protocols kept coming to my attention, and one of them that just came about in 20. Let's see, the book came out in 2020. In 2019 was the use of goggles.
Oh, yeah. I've read about that in the forums.
Oh, this is so cool. You go get swimmer's goggles and fill them up with your urine and then put the suction over your eyes. Keep your eyes open as long as you can and leave this over your eyes for as long as you can. And then when you take it off, wherever it drips, just wipe it on. Nothing gets wasted when you do these protocols. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Nebulizer. This is different from, and this works too if you guys got into essential oils. You're used to a diffuser and it's got a little compartment or a well that you put in the Orin. And then what you do is you leave it on for 4 to 6 hours, and this is going to diffuse the particles into the air for airborne particulates and airborne particles. All right, now if you got one of these that has a light, it's really cool because it turns golden light at night. Okay, now this little puppy I learned about from Harry and Matt last year, and this is called a mesh nebulizer. You can either use it for your mouth, right, or it's wonderful and it's great for exfoliating the face, and it's very soothing over the eyelids. People snort it in the ears, in the nose and in the mouth. This is a mesh nebulizer, so the particulates are smaller than a normal nebulizer. It even comes with a mouthpiece. I don't like to use the word mask in 2022. It comes with a mouthpiece for adult, or she picked up on that one, either for the child or adult size. Okay, and then there's a little strap that goes around it. And if you want to walk around town and people want to know what you're doing, you say, I'm breathing real things, real air. Okay, now don't ask me the brand. I don't know the brand. I don't know if they still have this. It's about $30. And I don't know if this particular one is still on the market or not, probably from China. But there's things that are just like it you can find on there. Okay. This is called an earwax removal kit. But what you're going for is the syringe that it comes with. This one is 20 ml. Is it ml or mm? ml. And you're going to either use this to bring it up the nose, in the ear, and just wherever you can imagine, your mouth, or you can use it rectally for an implant, which we'll be talking about in the class. Now, what's really neat, if you don't have $5, Kyle, I learned this. I went up back to Target and I went up to the pharmacist to that area. I said, "Hey, do you guys have these earwax removals, with a little syringe?" He says, "No, we don't, but we give these away for free."
Oh,
So these are 10 milliliters. You can get it for free. This is CVC Pharmacy, or you can get it at Walgreens. Just come up to the pharmacist and say, "I want those little syringes people use for earwax removal."
okay. Interesting.
And then you can get them there. All right. The other thing is, let's see. This is a silicone or rubber bulb, which you can either use for the nose, up the nose, or for an implant in the rectum. If you just want to put in a couple ounces for keep it in place while you sleep. We're going to talk about that in class 2. These, ironically enough, you can find these in any grocery store in the children's section. This little device, you can tell I've been having fun on this journey. I go to these stores now and I don't see things the way people see them. I'm going, this is not this. What do they call this thing? Saline enema, fleet enema thing. I'm going, no. That's not what that is. This is for shooting it up the nose. So I bought it for $2, cleaned it out, and this is great for getting power shots up the nose. So your imagination things will start showing up for you. You know what this is?
Neti pot, yeah.
Neti pot, yeah. So neti pot you can get at a health food store. You might be getting it in an integrated pharmacy. You can for sure get it on Amazon. And this is for cleaning nostril. But what this doesn't do, what the nose drinking and sniffing does, is it crosses the blood-brain barrier and it hydrates the higher sinuses. I mean, the fluid's going to go behind the nose, down the throat, and it's going to come up to the pineal gland and uncalcify it. What's the word, decalcified? Yeah, decalcified. All right. This came to my attention last year. Tongue scraper. Another thing you can get free from a dentist. And all you do is get off that film off your tongue, dip it in the urine, and use it for your tongue scraping. These are also free. As you can tell, this lifestyle is not very expensive. And when you come to realize how much money you're saving on not getting hair products, skin products, underarm deodorant products, foot products, supplements, God, you can use that for anything else other than all this stuff. Yeah, we had some fun this morning. This is my lover, my intimate friend. So once you get your system and your routine down, you can knock out anywhere from 1 to 3 of these in 45 minutes. I don't know how long colonic sessions take, but I figured out how to put the rug on the floor, how to get it filled up, how to lubricate the tube, how to turn off the clamp, how to hang it up over a towel rack, get in place, insert it, sit on the toilet, go back and forth, clean up the floor, clean up the toilet, and I'm out of there in 45 minutes. So everybody should have an enema bag. Or go see Kathleen if you happen to be in that area.
GersonTherapy.com, they have the buckets, which are very easy. They're plastic buckets, and you can just put on the counter, and it's very easy to use as well.
Okay. And the reason we bring up enema is because any good naturopath, health practitioner, colon therapist will tell you the first order in returning your health is to clean up your gut. So, anybody have one of these puppies? All right. What'd you say that would be? Copper, and this is cobalt blue?
Yeah, this is like yellow, brown color
Okay.
glass.
This happens to be my 3-year-old. I'm proud of my babies. So this guy, you want to take it with you in your backpack, your hip pack, your purse, keep it in the glove compartment, wherever you are. If your brain goes offline and you can't seem to get clarity, or your energy dips, you just pop that PB out and do a dropper full under your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it for a while. She's been doing this. That's why she's been paying attention. Thank you. I wish we had this in school.
It works beautifully on the brain. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Now, I'm going to get to its counterpart in just a minute. These are some of the most important things you can have. A cotton ball and or a cotton pad. With this cotton ball, you can dip in your Orin, you can dab it over any place on your body. If there's a skin, a bee sting, a cut, poison ivy, a liver spot, sunburn, whatever. The other thing which is really cool is if you need to get some up your nose really fast, soak this in the Orin up the nose with a hard snort. All right, you're out somewhere and your brain, you need your energy, you need your brain, you don't do caffeine. What are you going to do? Put a dropper full of 2 on your cotton ball and up the nose. I mean, not the cotton ball, but what's in it. Okay, and then some people are using Q-tips so they can, lightly go inside their nose or their ears or wherever they want to use it. That's what the Q-tips are being used for. And last but not least, a mister. A 2-ounce bottle that has that kind of top on it. Okay? Wherever you go, you need to refresh and give a spray on your face. Now, I wrote in my first book, The Healing Water, that people didn't know if I was serious or not. I said, look, next time you go on a public transportation, spray it on the headrest in front of you where the person puts his head, and maybe behind your back and in the air, because, people have things going on. Nobody knew whether to take me serious or not, but keep one of these around anyway, because it's worth having in case you need to freshen up. Okay, did I miss anything? Oh, yes, I discovered this at the hot springs a month and a half ago. Oh, soak this. It's got to be cotton, but if you soak the face mask in the Orin and you put it over your face and either put something to weigh it down, like a bean bag, something with beans in it, she's going to do this. Watch, Kathleen's going to. Or have you tried this?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I don't believe it.
okay, you came to the right class. We make believers out of people.
No, I don't believe Kathleen hasn't tried it already. That's what it's.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't done it. No, I haven't tried that.
I,
I have the night mask, yeah, but I don't have that.
Or you can use a feminine hygiene pad, whatever works for you. Somebody mentioned that in the other class. Well, I've been using soak feminine hygiene pads for places. I'm going to take your word for it. The ladies will love you. So those are some of my equipment, and most of the stuff you can either get it for free at a thrift shop, a garage sale, the dentist, the pharmacy, or pick them up inexpensively on Amazon. And this is generally for people who are doing all the protocols, or a lot more than just drinking protocols. Any questions, any comments? Okay, we're going to do a quick read, and then we're going to do a 5-minute break. Page, let's see, what page is that? Did we do a saturation dosing? We read that one, right?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. We didn't read
Oh.
that one.
Okay. Kathleen, you got your book?
Yeah.
You want to read page 60 to 63. Right.
Saturation dosing with AUT, the practice of increasing the oral and or topical uses of Orin. The saturation point is an arbitrary attempt to reach Orin capacity at its fullest or limit. Saturation dosing is your best prevention and defense of an illness or a compromised immune system. It gives you a fighting chance to get ahead of any virus, sickness, contamination, or compromise to your health. Saturation dosing is gaining in popularity as a preventative protocol, especially when starting before the onset of any illness. Considering that the body is continually regenerating and purifying itself, it's an oxymoron to believe that we could ever reach the point of being full to the max with nutrients from Orin. Keep in mind that Orin, with its 3,000 plus identified micronutrient-sized substances and more yet to be discovered, it would be virtually impossible to determine daily minimum requirements and a serving size for everyone. This is why it is clearly understood that Orin therapy is an intuitive medicine or water. The purpose of saturation dosing is to flood the bloodstream, body, and cells with the maximum concentration of vital nutrients in a shorter time than it takes with just one glass of serving per day. It has been a widely held belief and practice that a glass a day of orin meets the average person's minimal health needs. Why stop there? This may be the case for those UT devotees who have been drinking and applying orin for many years with the addition of other health practices like fasting, fruitarianism, raw veganism, enemas or colonics, qigong, tai chi, meditation, sun gazing, omad, 1 meal a day, exercise, daily, conscious, deep, connected breathing, clearing limiting beliefs, clearing limiting beliefs, and getting lots of hugs and conversations that matter. Committed health enthusiasts who are continually using the UT protocols have gained an experience and a knowing with AUT that gives them great certainty in its healing power. Those just starting AUT using minimum doses are improving at a snail's pace, playing it safe, often not changing anything about their diet or lifestyle and experiencing incremental health improvement.
And
Educate.
excuse me, those are the people who usually ask me, how long does it take to heal a certain condition? I said it's more complex of an answer than just give you a timeline.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
You can't answer it because there's too many factors involved.
It's up to everyone individual.
Yep. Kathleen, keep going.
Education and experience using AUT is a major influence and source of inspiration for the practice and results. AUT teachers or authors may not have taught them anything different. So now would be a great time to bring saturation dosing into the conversation with your water buddies. It's a great time for you and all students of this manual and of AUT to start practicing saturation dosing and or increasing what you are doing with orin therapy until you have a direct experience of this protocol. Having the understanding and confidence in teaching this UT model to others will make a big difference for them. This choice brings days of feeling good and days of not feeling well, with varying degrees of feelings in between. To experience a quantum leap in healing and reclaiming your well-being requires discipline, motivation, courage, and faith in yourself as well as the process.
And that's what I mentioned when we first started that call. These are things that people have to find in themselves in order to get the success with this path. And our job is to point it out to them and help them find that in themselves. So if you just keep reading, we're going to stop at the calendar and then I'm going to explain what the heck that is.
How to begin UT saturation dosing. Start by putting aside all of your concerns about increasing the consumption of orin. Trust the teachings in this manual and give 100% of your determination and energy into succeeding with AUT. Scheduling dates and times and designing a plan of action helps when you see it laid out on a calendar for daily and weekly use. Or print out something like this one below and write in the protocol details.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to get you the original drawing. So the ideas, when they come, I can't stop them. The creative flows. It happens all day long, and I have to constantly put myself into a meditative state so I can handle all this influx of energy. So I created the 28-day UT protocols calendar. And the whole idea was to come up with codes. Is this backwards or forwards?
It's fine. It's good.
We can see it. Yeah.
You want to come up with codes, like one for fasting, one for massage, one for enemas. These are all the various protocols, that you can choose from. And then put them on a calendar, on a 28-day calendar, so that you'll have a schedule and you'll have a routine and you can look at your calendar and go, oh, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do an enema. Oh, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to fast. So that's what I'm going to do today. I wash, I rinse. So that was the idea. and we passed it around the internet to the group, to the different water families for about a year or so, and I haven't heard back from anybody, but now you see it. You see it in print. Is that something that would work for you guys, or no? Or did
Yeah,
you?
I think that's really good because it's more like organized. They can see it and then they know what they have to do better. So I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, and it helps people be more take more action.
Having a list of options to choose to sort of go with the flow at any given point in time it might be helpful too, because you forget about this and you could have done that when you have a little bit more time. Getting into a habit of doing it in the morning is something that's helped me, because if I don't do it in the morning, then it might not happen.
Well, what I have here on one side, there's going to be one panel. If anybody's good at graphic designing, this has not been produced yet, but on one side it has the list: drinking, in the nose, looping, sip looping, eye cups, ear rinsing, gargling, pulling, enemas, foot soak, hand soaks, navel soak, tongue cleaning, body massage, etc. And the other side is complementary practices for optimum health care: walking barefoot, sunbathing, 5 hugs a day, silence in nature, meditating, yoga, tai chi, qigong, contemplation, swimming, bathing, praying, singing, laughing, art, dance, reading poems, being romantic, gratitude, live foods, etc.
It's
So
great.
Will
that's
we be
it.
getting a copy of this as well?
Check your email. If not,
Yes,
remind
I
me.
think, yes.
I didn't do as fully detailed out as this original sketch. We just need to put it into a more user-friendly form. But just remind me, and I'll send it to you. So we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
So go do whatever you need to do, and come back in 5 minutes.
University. It just makes a lot of sense. Your explanation makes a lot of sense, and the cross, sharing, to share our antibodies.
Mhm.
We are one. We are the we the we are one, and our one is we, and our they were experimenting with therapies in enemas with babies flora, gut flora,
Mhm.
and giving it to people who had been totally inundated with, a loss and a breakdown of their whole functioning. And you can just like stick it in somebody, and it totally lights up, like transplanting a plant or a garden.
Mm-hmm. Yep. After working in many health food stores, I learned that there was a certain bacteria, one of the probiotics known as bifidus,
Mm-hmm,
and it's from baby poop.
mm-hmm,
So they get some of the flora from baby fecal matter.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the natural source, and it can be cultured to some degree. I imagine in laboratories, but that's what it is. It's in our gut,
Right.
or it's not. And if it's not, you're not well.
So welcome back, everybody. I was briefly sharing with Jeffrey about how since I've been on this path, a lot of people didn't know that I have no interest in their products, and they still send me their miracle products and their miracle and their energy devices, so I could take a look at it. And most of them, if not all of them, are multi-level marketed. And my friend just sent me about this product called X39 Stem Cell Activator.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I said, you know what? Our bodies produce trillions of stem cells and antibodies and thousands of compounds. I'm not going to need your product, but good luck.
Well, unfortunately, these days, I believe
Interesting.
we're being exposed to dangerous chemicals, graphene, hydroxide, etc. There, and I was theorizing that that shungite, powdered shungite mixed with, they just sell the stuff, the C60.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Group has his.
You can you can make your own. If you have a little machine that spins and stirs the beaker. It's a little scientific device, but the C60, I believe you can make a reasonable, probably facsimile with shungite, and which is the spherical carbon. I think C60 must come from shungite, because that's the carbon, the spherical carbon complex molecule that is of shungite, which is, from how many millions of years in outer space when it hit the planet in Russia. And dissolving some of that carbon into the complex of the vegetable oil is a good way of ingesting that, and maybe an additional benefit, like when you've got something locked in your body. Like I had some, like in my first week of doing this, like a couple of weeks ago, I had some pretty extremely strange bowel movements, like black rubber balls, and
Ooh, mucoid plaque.
yeah, I got some, and you feel vastly relieved and light and energy wise, like even, and I'm still going through almost daily, it's subsiding, but some healing crisis, afternoons of diarrhea and having to be near the washroom, and then like feeling great, better and better every time. And that's been a benefit of just starting out with the drinking in the morning.
Well, you got quite a journey ahead of you, and there's a lot of people that are around to talk to you about it or support you if you ever need that.
I don't believe I have any other serious health issues at the moment, but I also believe that I have a long way to go to finally tune and master and rise to the fuller potential that I feel
Yeah.
I should be capable of.
Yes,
And
and the more you're able to uh, sit with your communication, open a line of communication with your Shivambhu, it's going to be even better for you because it guides you. I mean, there's an intelligence and an education. As I was telling the stem cell lady, your body comes with the information and the energy of what a perfect cell is. And so it knows when to design the medicine in the perfect combination for you exactly when you need it so your cells can recover, so you can regenerate cells.
so incorporating it with a meditation, again, uh, in integrating and turning on the switch for higher consciousness, as opposed to just going through the motions of a of a basic mood in the morning, but making a very a profound and significant moment of connection to higher self, integration, calling in that connection
Mhm.
to your being, and incorporating, trying to get ourselves up back together.
Yep.
It's really bringing, trying to remember, trying to bring ourselves, to make ourselves whole again,
Well,
consciously whole and super consciously whole.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, we're all doing the best where we're at. Somebody said the other day that we're all on the same journey. We're all at a different place on the journey. So we're going to turn to page 32 in the book. And Kyle, you feel like reading?
Sure thing. Let me just find it here. Okay.
This will
Yeah,
be
32.
32 to page
Yep.
39.
Okay. Yeah. So chapter 5, research and clinical studies. All human beings have drank their own Orion while growing a body in the womb of their mother. In the natural biological heaven of the human reproduction process inside the maternal womb is where the formation of our body took place. The first step was the formation of mother cells, the heart, the brain, kidney, bones, and the basic organs, nerve cells that receive and transmit, and above all, the coordination between sensorial organs and the incredible balance of genetic information, cell reproduction, and the bioenergetic stimulant. Inside the maternal womb, we are in complete peace, comfort, and harmony, preparing ourselves to come out to a new life in the exterior world. A human's perfect time on earth may be during the gestation period. Orion therapy is literally a gift from God or Shiva. It is a built-in part of our nature. There is no human on earth that has not taken his or her own Orion. In our first 24 to 30 days, we will start being into an amniotic liquid. Through the umbilical cord, the baby does receive special nutrients such as immunoglobulin and vitamins, but most of all, oxygen from the mother. When the baby reaches the age of 5 months, they urinate from 400 to 500 milliliters each day inside the amniotic sac, and between 8 to 9 months, the baby urinates 20 to 30 times every 24 hours. 98% of the composition of the Orion is water, and 1% is elements consisting of cells and filaments, and the other 1% is made up of more than thousands of healing chemical substances in the form of ions, electrically charged atoms, powerful substances found in milligrams that carry the genetic information and energy of what works well or not in the body. A fetus swallowing its own Orion is not only sterile and safe, it is essential for proper biological development. A decrease in fetal Orion production or excretion can result in a reduced amount of amniotic fluid. The Orion that a baby produces in utero doesn't pose any risks, even when the fetus consumes its piss. It's not only normal, but also healthy for a baby, for the baby's body to run organ system functions, as well as develop swallowing, breathing, and other actions needed for thriving. Your body creates an ideal environment that protects the baby as it develops. Temperature control, nutrients, stem cells, antibody protection, and more are just a few of the automatic benefits a baby gets in the womb. The germ situation isn't comparable to, for example, a toddler's putting anything they find in their mouths. While floating inside the womb in their Orion and amniotic fluid, babies open their eyes and can see light from the outside. Although a baby's eye can see light starting around, week 16, their papers aren't fully formed until week 20. The eyes first open between week 26 and 28. Their vision is rather blurry, but they can see and respond with a flutter of activity to bright sources of light like the sun or flashlight pointing at a woman's belly. Thanks to pee getting around into their eyes as their healing develops, babies can hear more than we realize. Babies are bathing their eyes in Orion and observing their water world with open eyes. While using this time to learn how to breathe and use their lungs, babies snort amniotic fluid filled with Orion up their nose. It's thought that they can smell food too. We already have experience drinking Orion through the nose from the beginning of our lives and just forgot. Mom getting outside helps a baby's eyes develop and reduce the risk of a few eye disorders. When you drink or topically apply Orion, you take in your own free auto vaccine. Unlike any man-made vaccine, Orion has no side effects, harmful chemicals, or toxic materials in it. In other words, Orion is part of the beginning of life, and we literally grew up with it, built into our nature. It is a wonderful cycle of life and that should never be interrupted. Nobody can live without water. For that reason, water is a sacred element. Nobody can live without air. For that reason, air is a sacred element. Nobody can live without fire. For that reason, fire, including the sun, is a sacred element. Nobody can live without taking the Orion inside the mother. For that reason, Orion is a sacred element. The medical applications of Orion and its constituents have been tested, discussed, researched, and utilized to such an extent throughout the 20th century that it seems incredible that almost none of us, including the majority of our doctors and medical administrators, have ever heard anything about it. But again, the reason for this is not entirely a mystery, even though the success of urine therapy was reported long before the 1900s and 20th century. Medical researchers, doctors, and the public turned their interest away from traditional natural medicines.
As I mentioned at the beginning of the class, it was thanks to the Rockefellers in 1913, when they established their policy of basically getting their hands on all the health organizations on the planet and getting rid of all the natural, quote, alternative healthcare modalities and products.
Wasn't there some like the Flexner report or some document that kind of encapsulated that? Heard of that name, the Flexner report?
Yeah.
Got nothing.
If you can find anything about it and send that to me, Jill, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
I'd like to see something I can show some people because people don't think, oh no, they did. Oh, that's not right. The doubters,
Right.
the anti-conspiracy theorists like my mother. But
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to come up with that, and I really don't think we're going to be profiled. Oh, you're one of those pea drinkers. As a side note, as much as I'm on the air, as much as I'm throwing out content on all these social media platforms, as much as I've been on radio and television, with what's going on in the world right now, pea drinking is off their radar. So this is why there's so many outspoken advocates and naturopaths and people putting their name and their reputation on the line right now, including Lori Ladd, including Jason Shirk, including David Wolf, including a whole bunch of stuff, because they know the time is right to get the truth out to people.
Mm.
So you guys are all freedom fighters.
Uh-huh.
Keep reading, Kyle.
Shivambhu and yoga are rejuvenating. AUT is the perfect medical solution for the millions of Indians who cannot afford medical treatment. I have been practicing it on multiple occasions. It is a profound medicine. Actually, it is one of the ancient yogic techniques called Amroli Kriya. Shivambhu and yoga, if practiced together, is very effective and rejuvenating. George Fernandez, former defense minister, Government of India.
If you didn't already know, excuse me, if you didn't already know this, the origin of Ayurvedic medicine dates back to urine therapy.
Oh.
And some of the practitioners of Ayurvedic natural methods know this. They're not necessarily speaking about it, but it's amazing how many people I've talked to know that urine therapy is what started Ayurvedic practices.
Yes. Also, someone who I spoke with is a doctor of Tibetan traditional medicine, and they were talking, like, I was talking to them about UT, and they were telling me, yes, we also use this method in Tibetan medicine as well, and they also do, like, I think in the youth, the ages they start collecting the age of, I think, 6 or 7, and 7 years old, and then they say that that's very powerful when it's collected from, like, 7-year-old. They also use that for medicine too.
Do they say why the younger person is more powerful?
They didn't mention, they just said that that's something that they use, that they have knowledge about, that because they do urine analysis, and they do, like, but I know that they use this as a, as a therapy as well. They've studied it a lot,
Well,
and they've been using it for many years.
some of the mystics believe that the younger the child, the closer they are to source. And so there's a purity about their youth and their innocence and their vitality. Some people consider youth juice.
Yeah.
There's a region, I was doing some research the last couple of days, and there's a region in China that has a particular holiday that involves a recipe that includes the the urine of adolescent males under 10 or 11 years old, ideally. And it's quite limited to a specific region, but I could see the point of a child's body, as like we absorb a lot of toxins from our environment, especially in this day and age. So a younger a person's body is, theoretically, if it's from a reasonably clean environment, it's going to be more pure, per se.
And you notice how quickly a baby body eliminates. A baby will eat and a baby will poop, like, rather quickly.
Yeah.
Their system is in a totally different place than ours after years and years of eating what we ate in this planet. All right,
Well,
Kyle.
Yes.
as long as
Oren,
it doesn't get too many antibiotics.
Exactly. Now
Yeah.
we've got 45 minutes left in our
Okay.
class. So what I want to do with you guys, and I've done it with some other classes, it all depends up to you. But the last 15 minutes, what we like to do is turn off the recording and open up discussion to anything about anything. So if you want to do that last 15 minutes, we can cross-talk about the subject or something off topic because it might be related.
Okay.
All right, Kyle, you know where we are? Page 37.
Yes, okay, sure. I'll finish off here, and then, okay. Yes, Oren therapy was moved out of the home and doctor's office and into the oblivion of research laboratories, where unfortunately it is being stored until the world is ready to hear about it. UT largely disappeared from public use at the turn of the 20th century. The knowledge of the therapy is currently hidden in medical journals and research reports that people and doctors in general never see. Orion ingredients are simply isolated and converted into unrecognizable medicines and cosmetics. Even though there have been amazing scientific discoveries about the therapeutic use of Orion, medical researchers, for the most part, do not tell the public about their discoveries. Again, this situation is most likely the result of 2 factors. Number one, modern medical researchers are primarily oriented towards finding strong, monetarily profitable chemical magic bullets to cure symptoms, not the cause, of specific diseases, and not towards discovering natural medicines which augment the body's natural capacity to heal. Most medical researchers must answer to Big Pharma and are contractually bound not to reveal the results of their research until the research can become a profit-making medical therapy patented by the company who funded the research. Also, medical researchers tend to devote their research to extremely specialized branches of medicine, and these separate departments of medicine don't generally communicate their findings to departments outside of their own research fields. So the urologists, for instance, who discovered that Orion prevents and heals urinary tract infection, might publish their findings for other urologists, but the doctor in general practice would probably not come in contact with these studies on the importance of Orion and bladder or kidney infections. The public and most practicing doctors today consider Orion to be nothing more than the body waste. But many medical researchers know in reality, Orion is an enormously comprehensive and powerful medical substance. Now you get to read what many scientists and doctors know, but haven't told us about the amazing curative effects of Orion therapy and its anecdotal stories of healing and survival. Regardless of Orion that is being generally ignored, ridiculed, or written off as another theory, people are learning the truth and reading healing stories that are taking on significance that not even doctors can ignore.
Thank you, Kyle. Did
Thanks.
anybody keep up with the story of what happened to Dr. Vijay Gupta? Was I posting about him?
I'm back in a bit. Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Gupta was a friend of mine for 25 years, and he's also started practicing urine therapy he's from India, him and his wife. They started practicing in 1984. But something happened in his life when I found out that he didn't eat the best of health, and he ends up having to go to the ER, and they found something going on inside his bladder, something going on his this, that, and the other thing. And so they kept him in the hospital. They said he tested negative for COVID, but they decided to give him remdesivir, 2 or 3 shots of that, which caused him to produce excess mucus and have his throat almost close up. So while he was in the ER, unbeknownst to them, his wife Indira and I were giving him urine massages and feeding him aged urine and massaging his feet almost every day. And because of that, he went from there to a rehab center, which we continued doing urine therapy. He came back to the house, ended up back at the ER, but every time it seemed to improve him, he started getting better. And I think we added 2 or 3 weeks to his life. He did pass away about 4 days ago. But I realized, yeah, I know it was hard for all of us, but he had a soul contract, and I think he already knew when his time was up. But what was amazing me is how devoted Indira was, his wife. They've been married 49 years, and she was feeding him urine every day, and she was applying on his body every day, and brought me in and a healthcare provider. We were doing constant urine treatments on him.
Wow.
Of course, it was kind of funny to us because hospital staff, they figure, well, he peed in the bed. That's why it smells in the room.
Well, the hospitals always smell like pee anyway.
Yeah. So if you ever can get in a situation where you can do some intervention, there are ways to do that. Any questions about what Kyle read? All right, we're going to go to page 25. And we're going to read from page 25 to 31. Does Kyle coming back? Did he go to what in the bathroom?
He has a 3-year-old. He might have been attending to the 3-year-old son, maybe. Evan.
Okay, no problem. So I'm going to start us off. We're on page 25. Excuse me, what did I say? Page 25.
25.
Here goes. Oren, welcome back, Kyle. Is your kid okay?
Unmute.
He's on mute, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My son is something happened, so I went upstairs. Yeah, but he's okay now. Thank
All
you.
right. We love dads. We love dads. Okay. Page 25. Here we go. Orin is the best and last supplement that I will never buy. Many water brothers and sisters are being called by Shivambhu and simply know and trust it works. The way to know for sure that Shivambhu can be an answer to your health and well-being or wellness takes discipline and commitment. Not only will you see results soon, you will be able to live a long and healthy quality of life by maintaining a continual daily practice. How does Orin affect attitude, emotions, and behavior? Thanks to the presence of various hormones and nutrients, drinking or topically applying Orin, as some of you already discovered, balances and improves one's attitude while restoring better brain health. Orin delivers vital nutrients to the brain as it repairs important functions and raises alkaline pH. By the way, the typical pH, if you guys are doing litmus paper testing, is somewhere around 6 to 7, 5.5 to 7. And some of the folks report with their older evolving urine as much as 14 pH. Isn't that the top of the pH scale?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. So
Yes.
it's going to help counter effect all those acidic reactions and conditions in the body, just from that alone. It repairs important functions and raises pH, and it reduces tension, inflammation as it removes toxins and pathogens. Benefits from UT include feeling good in your body, better confidence, better sense of self, concentration, mental peace, improved memory, clarity, and creativity. And more people are getting their sense of humor back. Yay. Thanks to Orin. See, this stuff's contagious. We all get together and have a pee drinking party, or just we'll have a bartender serve everybody. Oh boy. What's on tap? Well, I got 1-year-old, 3-year-old, or 5-year-old. What would you say? All right. That will be another paradigm.
I'll take the 5.
I will too. Thanks to Orin, with nutrients such as serotonin, melatonin, oxytocin, magnesium, B vitamins, and DHEA, people report feeling calm, present, and safe. With the absence of chemicals that cause addictions, many have gained their freedom from these self-destructive habits within a week of drinking pee. Now, has anybody done any Orin fasting?
Just intermittent, nothing too
Okay.
serious.
When you're ready to take the leap to a whole day or longer, you'll notice, and this was just my personal experience, I had enough energy to give 3 or 4 massages, work on a book, teach a class, go walk 3.5 miles for a walk, join a group meditation, and at the end of the night, I realized I didn't have any interest or craving for food. And so it changes you chemically. The people who are breaking addictions, I've heard people on our conference calls who said, oh, I got rid of pornography addiction. I got rid of sexual addiction. I got rid of cocaine addiction. I got rid of tobacco. The chemistry switches at one point, and so the things that ran you no longer have that effect on you. So if people are saying, can I help with addictions? You know they can if they're willing to do everything else along that lifestyle change to make that work. This newfound confidence has been inspiring many UT enthusiasts to radically change and improve their food choices, some call a diet, even more toward living foods or a fruitarian lifestyle. Shivambhu, like breathing, is a miracle. Are there any exceptions who can benefit from UT? No. AUT, which is an acronym for autourine therapy, can be practiced by anybody whether they are young, old, babies, sick, or healthy, without any expenditure and with a little basic knowledge. It does not produce any side effects, after effects, or ill effects, which are generally unavoidable with the use of medicines or surgery. AUT treatments are fast, inexpensive, free, harmless, safe, and simple to administer for any chronic or acute illness without the help from any doctor or medical professional. What page are we on? 27? 26? A few more pages. Can pets Shivambhu devotees are healthy people who rely on UT to remain healthy, whereas a sick person can be free of all their challenges very promptly. UT is self-evident, self-contained, and reliable source of the water of life. Can pets be treated with urine therapy? With urine therapy? Answer: many of the research tests on urine recycling has proven it works and well with animals. Veterinarians have successfully used urine therapy at clinics as a treatment by administering urine orally. Now, something that I added to my book, I'll just read it whether you want to add it or not, it's up to you. We're getting lots of testimonials by pet owners about treating their pets with their own urine, with human urine.
One question, may I?
Yeah, hit it.
If because I'm having a look here, I'm wondering if somebody has like poison that goes in their body,
Mhm.
and the poison gets eliminated through the urine, would
Mhm.
that be considered one way that you would not obviously not consume? You would not consume that?
You would still
Or
consume it. What is happening is the body is sourcing information from the poison to create the remedy and the antibodies. So what little teeny traces are found in there are not affected. It's the same as when people take apart let's see how I can relate this. When people take apart a fruit like an orange and they
Mhm.
want to extract the vitamin C, this is now considered synthetic vitamin C because what you're missing is the bioflavonoids and all the compounds that are built together synergistically for it to work. For people to isolate the drug components in the urine or the heavy metals and look at it as a possible danger, uh, it doesn't seem to work the same. It's not. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same thing.
Right. It can be identified, but it's still not a harm to the body because it's already been turned into the medicine.
I see.
All right. And okay, so you understand about pets because I've been hearing people say that they would feed their urine to their cats, their dogs, their guinea pigs, their birds, whatever, their fish, whatever they have. Nobody said they stood behind the dog waiting for it to pee in their jar. So, I mean, if you can coordinate that with your pet, more power to you. But human urine and animal urine are interchangeable.
They do have those special I've noticed at in terms for kids, when you go to the doctor, they have special bags that stick on the kids, so when they pee, it collects the urine in a bag. So they might have the same thing for pets too. So there is something like that available too, and they give them away for free.
Can you give me any kind of source of that you can send me?
Yeah, I'll try to send you that because I know that they're giving them away for free at the pediatricians, and maybe veterinarians have the same thing too. So I can look into that and
Is that for
maybe
samples,
send you that
Kyle?
one. They have the free yeah.
Yeah, I would appreciate that, Kyle, if you can get that information to me.
Sure.
Page 29, 28, we're getting to the end of this chapter here. Which diseases can be remedied by Orin therapy? Answer: Orin is your body's perfect medicine and not a man-made medicine as taught by the medical industry for any disease. It is a means provided by one's nature to keep up the health of the body and cure the host or body, which is you, of any disease regardless of personal beliefs. As such, there are no limits or conditions that Orin cannot heal. It is only the mind that creates difficulties or impossible tasks for our ability to heal itself. A Course in Miracles says, anybody read A Course in Miracles?
Some of it.
Well, A Course in Miracles says there is no order of difficulty in miracles. No one miracle is greater or lesser than any other miracle. We are the ones who assign the value. So there's no difference in healing a cut finger or manifesting your perfect relationship. We're the ones who make that stuff up. Okay, here we go. Orin is a natural auto vaccine that acts as an immune modulator that is very specific and personal. Auto vaccine, defined by the medical dictionary, is as a vaccine prepared from cultures of organisms or a virus from the patient's tissues or secretions. The antigen urinary in the urine of the patient, a natural protein that the body eliminates, has no risk or side effects and can be taken in combination with other natural resources, allowing us to slowly reduce and eliminate the immunosuppressors and chemotherapy medications that are being prescribed. Now, people will ask, well, if I'm doing prescribed drugs, if I'm doing recreational drugs, can I still do oral consumption of urine therapy? The answer is yes, but just so that the body doesn't identify it as an attack to itself, I suggest you take it on an hour on either side of when you're doing those medications. Until such time you wean yourself off of those completely, and then it's a moot point. Some people have actually gone cold turkey because they put all their faith in the urine. So that's up to the individual. Page 29. We have the ability to create our own vaccine. All the microorganisms that infect our systems from toxins, endotoxins, stimulates our immunologic, why are these tongue-tying for me? The immunologic system to form antitoxins or antidotes which are discarded in the urine. When we take it, we force the bacteria to take their own toxins. That's why we say poison kills poisons. Urine therapy acts as an auto-vaccine that has the same elements of our own illness, as in the homeopathic model. It has antiviral, antioplasmic, antispasmodic, diuretic, antiallergenic, anticonvulsive, cardiovascular stimulant, anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, bactericide, antifungal as well. Number, whatever the Q. Question, do you mean that even a diagnosis is unnecessary? Answer, correct. Diagnosing any disease is unnecessary. UT itself traces out the disease in the manner the police search out a thief in hiding and turns them in. What I added on the side here was, whether using medical devices, kinesiology, or intuition, these are subjective. The body knows how to heal itself. Question, can you give an example or two? Answer, let's clarify the point by illustrating an historic fact. Perfect health is essential in yoga practices. Otherwise, concentration is likely to be disturbed by bodily disorders. Even mild attacks are likely to disturb meditation. It is therefore essential that a practitioner of yoga be free from all physical troubles. How to accomplish it? The mystics of India, using intuition or wisdom from long experience, found out that the same cure of urine were remarkable for all health complaints or concerns. Question, is it wonderful? It is wonderful, but why was this philosophy that was so beneficial and trusted been kept a secret until now? Oh God, I love that question. This old philosophy and cure never disappeared at all. It has been all around us and is still here, but our modern prejudice mentality did not allow AUT to be understood or discussed up until now. Insects, birds, fish, and quadrupeds are already using this means instinctively. By now, you've seen YouTube videos of orangutans, reindeer, camels, or giraffes drinking their own pee straight into their mouths. It's like monkey yoga. Have you seen that one, Kyle? The orangutan's got it. He's flipped his hips over his head.
I saw that one in one of the group chats. Yeah.
Yeah. They're ahead of us for sure. Only human beings intoxicated by their own intellectual power have neglected it. They are using their skills and knowledge mainly for selfish ends. Page 40. Page 40. We got about 15 minutes. I'm going to read page 40 to 43. Now, I've been. Do you guys remember the term holistic health?
Yes, holistic health. Yes.
Yeah, back in the 70s and 80s, we were known as holistic health practitioners before they changed it to wellness practitioners. So the holistic model took in consideration that in order to achieve perfect balance and perfect health requires all four pillars of health to be in alignment. Those four pillars are mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking to someone who has an issue or hang up with words like the word spiritual, I will call it self-wellness or self-love practices. You got to know your audience. So this is why I bring it up again and again. This is something you need to, have in your mind. So when someone says just drink the urine, is that all I got to do? And they're not doing anything different with the rest of their life, you might want to be a little more on the tough love side. What are you eating? Are you exercising? That kind of stuff. And we're going to discuss this later on in the book. It's going to take some probing and some investigating to determine what they can do and what you can recommend so they can be more responsible and proactive and get their life in back to their hands. So, page 40. The whole body mind connection way to supercharge AUT effectiveness through optimum diet, attitude, emotions, and self love practices. Why does UT work for some people and not everybody? Healing is more complex than just purifying or detoxing the physical body. Improving the diet, fasting, cleansing, right thinking or mental attitude, healthy emotions, and spiritual practices increase Shivambhu's benefits and results. Health is the result of the balance of all four pillars that hold together the foundation of health that a client must achieve to produce permanent well-being. Understand? People who are miserable or self destructive have much more work to do on themselves than do grateful, joyous people. Self motivated people do really well with AUT. A well trained or intuitively sensitive UT teacher will make inquiries into every area of a client's life in order to design a well rounded program to accelerate, deepen, and secure results. Detailed questioning is more thorough than just advising clients to do UT protocols and sending them off, wishing them well. Drink your pee, have a good life. That's not how we do it. By taking the time to do follow ups will bring added confidence and reassurance to the client as you work together as a team to change, improve, and save a life. Is anybody thinking about becoming a teacher?
Maybe.
Okay, so just so you know, I put the word teacher and therapist in the same category. So if you're thinking about becoming a teacher, too late, you already are. But now you're getting more understanding, more education, so you have a deeper arsenal of information that you can share with people. Page 41, Shivambhu is the gift of health. The human body requires a balance of all four pillars of health and wellness in order to achieve and maintain its health and longevity. These four aspects have to work together as one team for vitality and energy to work at its optimum. Illness can occur when a person is only focusing on some but not all of these aspects of health and well being. We know rich people who are depressed, we know spiritual people that are sick. See where I'm going with that one? They got some of the picture, but they're not working on all four parts. When making inquiries with clients, the compiled information will let you not only determine which direction to guide the session, but also how to make general treatment suggestions and a program that includes all of these health aspects of health. What and how well we eat affects the color, smell, texture, and taste. Those people consuming a raw vegan or fruitarian diet tend to have clearer, tastier, and more aromatic smelling orin than do meat, dairy, or processed food eaters. By the way, I do not get into the soapbox when people say, should I give up eating meat and dairy and carbs and all that other stuff? All I want to do is point out to them, you do know that meat takes 3 days to decompose and get out of the system. It's acid forming. People know it produces more acid, more inflammation, and more mucus and more trouble. If it's worth it to you, go right ahead. Was that preachy? Anyway.
Direct.
What?
It's direct.
It's direct, and there is some. Thank you. It does take some diplomatic sensitivity because people are pretty defensive when it comes to.
Oh yeah, protective of their food.
Woo! You can tell how.
Oh
deep,
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, forget about going
Get
to
some
church.
arguments going.
Amen. You've had your share. I can imagine it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. So orin is also affected by your state of mind or emotions throughout the day, especially during meals, snacks, drinking fluids. Reminder, here's the 2 reasons you get sick, in case you hadn't heard this before. The only reason you get sick is either what you eat or what's eating you. And we're not talking about parasites here. Normal pH is between 6 to 7. The average is 6.2. A diet high in protein from meat and dairy, as well as cooked food, processed food, altered foods, alcohol, caffeine, and drugs, will not only lower the pH into a more acid state, it will increase the amount of mucus in the body, blood, and urine. Wikipedia says so. Anyone who's serious and committed to achieving their best health will do everything possible to reclaim their biological terrain, intestines, and mind. This might mean losing some friends, FYI. If you decide to go down the path of health and wellness and urine therapy, you might have some people left behind on the journey. Because people are into their struggle and they may not want to give it up because they get a lot of attention being a victim. We know that one. All right, simply drinking and applying Orin will bring results yet at a much slower pace than the body has when the body has to constantly do house cleaning from poor food and lifestyle choices, which is causing obstruction to vitality, strength, and energy. Orin therapy becomes 100 times more therapeutic as you move closer to a living plant food and or fruit-based diet. Anyone going through transitional diet changes on the way to thriving on living plant foods, adding those will boost overall healing. Consider including looping or drinking more Orin daily. Frequent Orin enemas, fasting on Orin massages, and saturation dosing, along with much needed rest, we will achieve your health goals much faster. Did you hear that part? Rest.
Rest.
Rest. How dare I suggest that when everybody are doers? People forgot to be human beings. I got to do this. I live with these people that they're constantly doing something to feed their brain. They want to do crossword puzzles. They want to play games. They want to keep up on the latest news. They're constantly doing games. When one of them has downtime between clients, before she comes home, she grabs and eat, and she's working on crossword puzzles. She cannot just shut off her mind and be still for a little bit. So let's look at our lives and let's see how we can start mindfully putting in resting times, disconnecting times from our doing this. So you can unplug for a while, and then it'll always be there when you're ready to go back to it. Oh my God, life is sweet. Any questions or comments about what we discussed on our first class? Have you been taking notes? What some people are doing, and I highly recommend it, is to keep up a journal. So you can see the experiments that you've been making. You can see the results that you're having. You can see how to tweak the protocols. You'll come up with discoveries that you never read about in any of the books or YouTubes. And you may be the guy, Kyle, you may be the guy who discovers the next protocol. Who knows? So journal writing really helps you to see your learning curve. Plus,
have you tried magnetized urine?
No, but I have, and I still do from time to time. You're gonna love. I can't turn this around, but I've been into energy devices for many, many years. So right now I have urine, my aged urine. Inside is a dangling crystal pendulum. It's sitting on a Nikola Tesla purple plate underneath a copper pyramid next to a 0-point energy wand with crystals all around the base of it.
Wow.
That's great.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing.
People, they just leave it out in the sun. That's all they do. Or some put a crystal in their jar and leave it out in the sun. Some people put it in their near infrared, far infrared sauna. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's still going to have the most power it'll have anyway. Kyle, what did you come up with? Something we missed?
No, that's it for now. I think we hit a lot. Yeah.
Jeffrey?
I'm ready to carry on.
Beautiful, beautiful, because we just started down this rabbit hole. It's going to keep revealing more and more to you how magnificent this water is, why it's been considered sacred for thousands of years, and why a lot of people consider it their savior. They consider it what they've used to liberate themselves from food slavery, from drug slavery. One guy said on one of our first conference call that he broke pornography addiction. And I thought, gutsy guy. Not only did he discuss something that people wouldn't have brought up publicly, but he opened up the doorway for every addiction to be discussed and cleared. So it's bringing a lot of courage and a lot of honesty and a lot of transparency that I've seen in the community. People are discussing things they never would have thought they were discussing, and they're getting help and they're getting healed. So there's a force inside our water that's doing amazing guidance and bringing a lot of comfort for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's very balancing. I notice cravings are of all sorts of things are just sliding away.
Yeah. Yeah,
I can see what was mental and what was physical, more like a lot of it's so mental.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're with other people that actually, aren't quite ready to let go of food and you're around them a lot. I think that can be challenging.
It can be
Mhm.
challenging, and the fact that you walk your talk, Jill, is an unspoken message. I have my roommates. One of them is one of my students, and they're what I call foodies. They love to eat. They're always in the kitchen. They start even dinner. They start making dinner at 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. But I notice every couple of days, John's making fresh juices. He's bragging about drinking 1 more ounce. He's putting it on his knees that hurt like hell because he doesn't want to have to pay for stem cell injections. People start noticing that your life is working.
Mm.
They might ask you, Jill, how come you look so good? What's your secret? And you can tell them. That'll open up that conversation. So stick with the practice and have faith in it. What a ride. What a ride.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
And
Oh, yeah.
social media is one of the most supportive communities in this movement that I've ever found. The people in Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, the people who join the Shivambhu Hut, they're helping each other with their concerns. They're giving each other content and discoveries and research. I'm grateful because there's like 600 people in the Shivambhu Hut, and I don't have the time, unfortunately, to stop and handle each individual one. So a lot of people are stepping up and doing that. So if you find yourself in one of the social media groups and you got an answer and you can help them out, do it if you can.
I do see a lot of different opinions and approaches in at least the Facebook group.
Right.
People with different opinions than perhaps you've shared, or even about like meat and stuff like that. So that's been interesting, just to kind of watch it.
Right. Now, in some of the groups, you can tell who the trolls are. You can tell who the naysayers are because they're off topic every time. Or they ridicule you or they criticize you. I'm going, evidently you didn't do your research, and everybody who knows what this is can spot these guys.
Right.
So we don't really have to police the social media groups. I know some people are wanting me. I'm the admin for 2 or 3 of the groups, and they wanted me to discipline these people or block them and report them. I'm going, they just out themselves.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about them.
They can't keep up. They don't understand.
Right. It's almost like we gang up on the guy. Nice try.
He can handle the attention. I must sign off for tonight. I need to get my mother some dinner organized, as it's a little later in New York, Toronto time.
Well, we're glad to have you, Jeffrey. And one of the things that we do as a custom at the close of each one of our classes to give everyone a cyber hug. So let's hug Jeffrey. However you can send love to Jeffrey. Thank you, brother, for being on the class today. And
Thank you all.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Love to you all. We'll be here tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye.
Ways of love.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste. Talk to you a bit later.
Blessings.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So one thing I offer to you guys. Well, by the way, when you graduate, you will get an invitation to the Telegram private group called the Golden Grads. And we've got either 12 or 13 members right now, and we've got
Cool.
room for more.
Nice, nice.
That's an exciting place, and we
Oh,
don't
yeah.
we don't open that up to the water world. It's just our group.
Nice.
That's great.
So hi, welcome back. We lost Kyle, but we gained Jeffrey back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to shut out.
He said that's what I do.
Turn the phone off.
All right, I'm going to turn off